vacationing, so he's on vacation. He's actually working, and we welcome Ted Hunter to the studio and the entire family, and extended family, cousins, and everybody else. Charlotte, Lee are here, Sarah's here, and Ted and Robert and Yvonne are all here in the studio with us. But you'll be able to see this online if you log on to our website, wccfam.com. Peter will have it up online. When, Peter?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow will be online tomorrow, but you'll be able to listen. And I know, is it true that people in Nebraska and North Dakota are listening today? Or is it South Dakota?
I certainly sent the word around. You get the iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, just log it onto your phone. Also, you've developed an app for the Metropolitan Museum of Fine Art, haven't you?
Yeah, we did. This year is our 100th anniversary as a department of Arms and Armor within the museum.
Yeah.
And, so we had a lot of different things we had going on, and one of the things we did was develop a quiz game you can play on our website, or you can download it for your iPhone or your iPad.
www.metmuseum.org/metmedia.
That's right. You'll find it right under there. There's a lot of other games, things for kids, videos of the museum galleries. There's curators and conservators being interviewed about different pieces in the collection, and our game is on there.
Now, you've been there for about, what, 12 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
And as a conservator, what is your job?
Okay. I like to call it the care and feeding of the collection. But basically, you may have heard of like an art restorer.
Yeah.
That's what we used to call ourselves, and we've changed the name to conservator because we're trying to get it across the idea that we're not just there to fix things, we're there to prevent them from getting damaged in the first place, to preserve them as long as possible. So I spend a lot of time doing cleaning and repair of the Arms and Armor collection, but I also spend time taking care of the collection, monitoring the environment, making sure that the galleries are in good condition and the storage rooms are in good condition, and just keeping track of everything. And
Ted, what's the oldest, what am I going to say, specimen that you have at the museum?
On display in
Yeah.
our galleries, the oldest thing we have is a 6th century Japanese sword called a ken, very early type of straight-bladed sword.
Wow.
And it's mostly rust now.
Was it carved? I mean, was the metal carved?
No, it was forged.
Okay, forged.
Yeah, it's a beautifully shaped piece. It's really elegant, but it was in a tomb for a very long time, and so it's really just kind of a piece of corrosion that we've got very carefully displayed so that it won't deteriorate any further, but you can still see the shape of it.
And that's the oldest. What would be the latest?
We have some early 19th century pieces. We have some Winchester and Smith & Wesson pistols and a rifle that are with Tiffany hilts.
Ooh,
yeah,
wow.
the grips are all in silver and ivory, and they have inlaid enamel and stuff. Oh, they're gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I love cleaning those.
Yeah, it can. When you restore a piece of, and what the first question I had when we talked on the phone was, what does armament have to do with the Metropolitan Museum of Fine Art?
Well, it's a good question, and the answer is, I'll try not to bore anyone with it, but our department is about 100 years old, but we predate. The museum predates that of collecting Arms and Armor by a little bit. But around 1904, they acquired a collection from a guy named Didino, who had this great collection. And the museum was, at that time, much smaller. If any of you have ever been there, it's one of the biggest museums in the world. And depending on how you measure it, it is the biggest. And the collection 100 years ago, though, was a lot smaller. And they were sort of always looking for things. And they had a lot of wealthy collectors in the United States and abroad that were becoming involved with the museum, and a couple of the guys decided there was this Arms and Armor collection they wanted to get. It belonged to the Duke Didino. They managed to buy it and bring it into the museum to become part of the collection. And for a long time, it was the largest single collection in the museum. And then that was in 1904, and at that time, a guy named Bashford Dean came in as a volunteer to curate that collection, and he was a really interesting guy because he actually was also a ichthyologist, was teaching at the Natural History Museum and Columbia, but was just really into Arms and Armor.
What kind of ologist was he?
An ichthyologist. He studied fish.
I was going to say sharks. Yeah.
We like to show off. Actually, we have pieces in our storeroom that we use for tours that are overlapping metal plates, and we point out how they kind of look like lobster tails and things.
Okay.
So we make this comparison that he was into lobsters and armored fish,
Gotcha.
So anyway, he came in 1904, and he was such a passionate individual that he finally managed to get it turned into a full-scale department. and acquired a lot of other collections. A guy named Riggs. We acquired a lot of pieces from other people over the years.
Now, I just showed Tommy, and the reason why this stuff is so was a sword that you've got, and then a bejeweled sword. So that's going to be worth a lot of.
Oh yeah, we've got all kinds of neat stuff.
Yeah.
We've got golden armors. We have 2 armors that belong to Henry VIII of England. We've got the armor of Henry II of France. We've got helmets and swords and guns. We got cannons, although they're not on display. They used to be. We have
now your exhibits not only just at the Fine Arts Museum in New York, at the Met. You move them around to different places, and they go on tour.
Not as a big collections, but we loan pieces out to people all the time. We're very happy to do so. Pieces get borrowed constantly. We've got something. We've got pieces on loan in Seattle. We've got pieces on loan in Minneapolis. We have pieces that we send out to Europe. We have one helmet right now that's part of a big touring collection. It's in China right now. That'll come home in a month or so.
Now, okay, we just had the 500th anniversary of Ponce de Leon landing here in Charlotte County.
Oh, sure.
And 1513. Long before the Pilgrims, girls. Long before the Pilgrims ever laid foot in America, the Spanish were here. And they had a lot of helmets and stuff like that. Do you have any? Yeah.
We do have a piece that we acquired fairly recently. It's some scales. They're sort of overlapping small metal plates that we would have made a coat of armor out of, and we've acquired some of those that are from roughly around that time and place.
Yeah.
Not a lot of other things from there, although there are places in the United States where you can see that material pretty easily.
Okay. Now, Metropolitan Museum open to the public 5 days a week, 6 days a week. How?
Well, we're currently open 6, but as of July 1st, we'll be open 7 days a week, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and I think we're open till 9 Friday and Saturday.
Ted, when you said that you loan, quote unquote, items out to other museums, obviously.
Yeah, not to the hippo here.
No. Thank you.
We loan him out.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you and Charlie are on loan from the Smithsonian. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I've been on loan here for a long time. Anyway,
I have a background in archaeology.
Really? Thank goodness for that. Anyway, what's the Museum B requests Museum A, your museum, that we'd like to borrow, if you will, certain pieces. What transpires? How does that? I mean, what's the insurance, and how is it packed and shipped, and where does this go?
Well, the paperwork part of it's kind of boring.
Well, I would imagine.
But there are parts that are pretty cool. So the first thing is, they say we want such a piece, and we have a discussion with them saying, really, is that the right thing for your? Sometimes people don't know what we have, and we'll say, actually, we can suggest something that's even better that we have in storage or whatever. We agree that it will go at a certain time. We have a packing department that will put together a special crate for shipping it.
Okay.
We have a whole department of people and outside contractors we work with that take it to the airport, ship it, and then I or someone else from our department will go with it.
Okay.
And we'll get there and we'll install it. We make our own mounts, so I solder and metal work basic mounts to hold things up on the wall or stand them up or make a mannequin or what have you. We'll take that along with it and we'll set it up and we get everything squared away, and when the case is locked and clean the glass, and okay, we'll see you in 3 months or
well, what happens now? What happens, you get everything all set up and the museum is open for viewing and so forth, and what happens if something is stolen or broken or
It's called
damaged?
insurance, Tommy.
I know, but
Major insurance policies.
I don't want to think about what happens if something's stolen, but if something gets damaged, which does occasionally happen, a visitor trips and falls onto a painting. It happened a few years back. Or there's a leak or some kind of we have many conservators on staff, and there's a whole sort of emergency plan that we have, and people who are like on call, and we've got go bags and everything, and if there's something goes wrong, there's a security department that's there 24/7, and they'll call us, and we'll be there as fast as we can, and we're all sort of trained in how to respond to a damaged piece of artwork or a potential situation where there's water coming in through a broken window and we got to move a lot of art really fast. We're all actually totally set up to do that.
How big is the storeroom? And is it in another building?
Arms and Armor has 3 storerooms. I couldn't tell you the square footage. We have 14,000 objects in the collection, and only about 8% of it in the galleries. And the galleries are full. We have 11 galleries.
Wow.
And they're full of stuff. And that's just Arms and Armor. There's, 20 other curatorial departments, and they've all got 2 or 3 storerooms. I mean, the building is huge.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna pay some bills. We'll be right back.